All right, we're 1 week closer to our goal race. And anyone who did the Saturday workout, that was our last workout day on a Saturday. Now it's just long, easy runs that we get to do the rest of the time. We don't have to do any speed work in the middle there. But I want to talk about this week. I got the same question or same situation asked of me by multiple different people. So I thought if a couple people were asking about it, that we'd probably have other people who are going through the same situation. And it'd just be easier to do a video and let everybody hear the same answer. But the situation has been, it's a little bit different each time, but basically it's, a week ago I had a great run, and then, 2 days later I went out and it was absolutely miserable. I tried to do speed and I couldn't hit my times, and I just felt awful. It was just horrible. I knew right from the start it was going to be bad. I had 4 or 5 different people ask me, and it's all been slightly different situation, but it all kind of goes back to that same as I had this one bad day. How do I get mentally tough so I don't have that bad day? And more importantly, I think what people are asking is, wow, I had that one bad day. Now I'm thinking I might have that bad day on race day as well. So, what I tell everyone, or what I've been telling everyone is, the first thing when you have a bad, a day that doesn't go well, first of all, like I said, I had 4 different people ask me questions about that in the last week. So guess what? It happens to all of us. We have just that one day that doesn't exactly feel the greatest. So it's not unusual to have that bad day. But the other thing to do is look and see, is there anything from that day that we can learn from? So looking at hydration, and usually going back about 2 days of hydration, like how was my hydration the 2 days before? Was that what caused it? Maybe looking at nutrition, looking at sleep, looking at work schedule, things like that. And so sometimes when you look at that, if there's something you can learn from that bad day, well, then you should celebrate that. That was being able to learn. It's much better to learn during a training run than have to learn on race day. So if you learn that hydration wasn't quite there, you know something to change for the future. But beyond that, if you go through and you think through all that and you're going into nothing was different. Well, first of all, yep, we sometimes just have those bad days, and that's perfectly acceptable to have those bad days. But the other thing to think about, and I know one of the concerns is, I went out and I tried to do 5 miles at my race pace, and I couldn't make it 5 miles at my race pace. How am I going to make it on race day at that? Well, I want everyone to step back and think about is, when we do these workouts, these Saturday workouts, and you do 5 miles at race pace or 10 miles at race pace, we're in the middle of a training program, and we didn't peak specifically for that training. And so you did a long run the week before. We did some workouts during the week before that. And so if you have a bad day, or have a day that's a little rough, and you can't quite keep your goal pace during that run, that's not out of the ordinary. And part of the idea is we're running on tired legs right now, so it should feel a little awful during some of those runs. And sometimes what I tell people, if you do that, the race pace, the 5 mile or 10 mile race pace, and it feels awful, but you got reasonably close to your goal time, guess what? Congratulations, celebrate that. It's supposed to feel awful. So I know you don't really like to hear that, but sometimes you are going to have those that feel awful. But what you need to remember is, when we're actually going into race day, we're actually tapering and peaking specifically for a specific race. So when we do these training runs, we're running on tired legs because we've been doing all this training. And so they're going to be harder than race day is going to be, because once we get to race day, that 2 weeks before, we're going to gradually back off the mileage, gradually back off the intensity of our workouts. It's going to freshen up your legs, and the legs are going to be ready for race day. And mentally, we're going to be focusing on the race day. And so it's actually a little bit easier to run on race day than it is to run some of these when we simulate them in practice. So my overall point being, if you've had a rough day, especially if you had a rough day in the last week or two here, that's completely normal. It seems like everybody has, right before taper week happens, that's when everyone has a rough day. And that's when mentally we always have an issue with it, because we're always thinking, oh, we don't have much time left, we're getting close to race day, I can't fix it. But the biggest thing to remember is, trust your plan, trust the workouts you've been doing. Don't think about I'm going to do some massive change to my workout plan in the last 2 weeks to make up for it. Stick to the plan, stick to the focus, and like I said, we all have those days where you just have a day when it's not quite clicking. So keep it up. Anyone who did Oshkosh, by the time you actually watch this video, I believe people have already finished Oshkosh. Post how you did. We always want to see how the race is doing. See how the races went, so we can celebrate with anyone. But otherwise, I'll see you all next week.